I'm Leslie.
And I'm Shelly.
And we're Sisters in Ebert. Welcome back for another Movie Monday.
I want to live forever.
I want to learn how to fly. Fame!
Fame!
1980, The Good Fame. Let's get that
I
on
never
the-
saw the new one.
I saw it. Not impressed. Saw it in the theater.
Ooh.
Thinking I was like, oh, this is going to be like a great...
Was it the same story?
Ish.
Okay.
Ish. It was close, but they left out, like, it wasn't gritty.
Oh.
It
the
wasn't...
grit's what makes it?
Yeah, they made it very saccharine. Yeah. So, we open up... This was not a Summer of Movies movie, but I remember we had this on VHS and asking Mom if we could watch it. Like,
yes.
I was a freshman in high school.
Were you?
Yes, because I remember like getting into theater and wanting to watch this.
I couldn't remember how
I liked
old.
the song. So that's what I was, like the Irene Cara song.
So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like this is one of those where it's a musical, but half the songs aren't sung. Like they're like in the background.
Yeah, they're playing over.
Because I had the
scene.
soundtrack for this, and they're like, I'm like, oh, I don't remember this song. I don't remember this song because they were like in the background.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, like there's like 4 songs I think that like are like people singing.
Yeah.
Like we're
Hot Lunch,
the Fame song.
But even that, like they're just playing it over as everybody's dancing.
I would count that because it's a big showstopper.
I guess.
The Irene Cara with the piano. The Sometimes I Wonder.
Yeah.
Where I've been, and then the
Out
last
Here
one
on My Own, and then I sing the Body Electric.
Yep, sing the Body Electric.
Yeah,
so I counted 4 because I was trying to think because there's like a whole bunch of other ones.
Oh, what's his name? Sings one too. The
Montgomery.
Yeah, Montgomery sings one too. I just fast forward that one.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't this time. I watched it, but back when we had it on VHS, I was like,
So we open to Montgomery's monologue about military academy and his lack of relationship with his mother, which is not accurate. Like, he doesn't have a relationship with his mother, but here we find out it's just a monologue to try to get into acting
Yeah, so
school.
you make it seems like it's him, because he's a very good actor.
Yes, and they're all trying to get into this performing arts high school in New York City.
Yes, which is a real thing.
Yep.
A real place, and they just changed the name of it for this, and it was a public school that you just audition, and as long as you got in, you was covered free
For
education.
Free. Yep.
Yes.
So other students audition with various instruments and dance routines, and ballet. Well, most of them were ballet.
Yeah.
There wasn't like
There's some hip hop.
Yeah.
Like random things.
Bruno and his family show up bringing in $7,000 synthesizer for him to audition for the band. His dad's a cabbie and he's like unloading it from the taxi. And he's like his brother's like complaining. He's like, why are like you doing this? He's like, the same reason like Pop played the accordion. Like, why couldn't he play the accordion? He's like, Pop was never good at the accordion.
They
he's like, this is progress.
Bruno.
Yeah.
Yes. They're excited for Bruno to audition.
Yes. Shirley comes to audition with Leroy Johnson. He's here to help. He's not here to audition.
If he's not part of the audition, he doesn't need a form.
Yeah, he's like, well, he ain't going upstairs without a form, you know. And, he has to check his knife to Ann Mira, who is Ben Stiller's mom in real life, and she's the actress who's playing the one teacher here, who I didn't get her name till like almost the end.
Right. Which this was actually her job too. She was a casting director for many Broadway shows and stuff. So like she's just kind of playing herself in this part.
Awesome.
Like as she cast these, like she went through it as if it was a real audition and treated them like she would.
And she's perfect.
Oh my gosh, she's so good.
She doesn't take any crap. She's like, who's checking people into audition. Leroy doesn't care though. He has lots of knives. Like, he wants
them. He's like, I got lots of knives.
You want it? I want it. You're like,
Leroy is my favorite character.
He's the best
in this whole movie.
He's just this kid who's like, you know, he's very young and, you know, he doesn't care and he didn't say much and, you know, he's just, So he's supposed to be helping this girl Shirley audition with hers. Doris Finsucker arrives for the drama department singing as overbearing mother interferes.
I was so confused why Doris was auditioning because she did not seem remotely
interested
in a stage career.
It's because it's free. We find out later. Remember, she says, she's like, well, we can't afford to go to another school. Like, you know, like she would have like to go to a good school, a safer school,
right?
You know, like,
but it's just like, how did she even get in? It wasn't a very good audition.
It was open auditions, but I agree. Well, because I guess like she's singing and he's like, she doesn't have to sing. This is the drama department. And she's just like, I can sing. I'll let her sing. When she sings, it is drama. You know, like her mom.
Bad.
Her mom's just very
overpowering.
overpowering. She has no stage presence, nothing.
She's got the camera at the audition.
Yeah. Click, Ralph Garcia also auditions with his harmonica, and he's told to try the dance department. Doris is very shy. She's, having a difficult time, even opening her mouth. This other student acts as O.J. Simpson in Towering Inferno to give her, audition. And
yeah. So this is all, a lot of cuts to all through the audition process. So it's chaotic feeling, but it's cool to see them all auditioning.
And some kids will follow throughout the movie, and some kids we don't really see again.
Yeah.
So Ralph moves to the dance department and gives this whole speech about his father. Again, he gave this speech originally about his dad, and how his father taught him to dance, and he's going Swanee River, please. He's got bottle cap tap shoes.
Yeah, it's just sneakers with bottle caps on the bottom for his tap.
And then he's referred to the drama department because first he was like, well, his father, taught him all these instruments, and so he did with the harmonica initially, and then to the dance department. His dad taught him, oh yeah, is your dad work for Pepsi Cola too, because it's Pepsi's bottle caps.
He's changing his story constantly.
Every time, yeah. And father taught him there too. He wants to go to school here because Freddie Prinze went here. Freddie Prinze went there.
Idolizes Freddie Prinze.
So Bruno is arriving to audition. The teacher wonders if he's a musician or an airplane pilot. And he said one instrument at a time is fine, because he's trying to set up this synthesizer.
Yeah, play everything all at once
by himself. Yeah,
he's very independent.
He wants probably on the spectrum and wants to do everything by himself, and still has this idea of how to do it, but doesn't. Everyone else doesn't get it. Yeah. So. Leroy and Shirley dance obscenely, but teachers are very impressed with Leroy, and Shirley...
He clearly has rhythm, and Shirley does
not. Shirley's not, all over the place. Shirley's upset as he wasn't auditioning to begin with.
This wasn't even before you, she's yelling
You're looking at one happy lady, I didn't want to go here anyway, because he's given a pass and told to go upstairs, and she's like, that means he's in and I'm not, right?
He got a further audition.
Yeah. Doris and Ralph also got in, and freshman year starts, and Montgomery and Coco are also in, along with Bruno.
Did we see Coco at all in auditions?
I don't believe...
In the dance
Maybe
part?
The dance department. Okay. But I don't think we saw her dance. I think we just saw her commenting on dance.
She was on the side talking about it.
Because she talked to Ralph about the Pepsi Cola.
Oh, yeah, she is. Yeah. And Lisa's another dancer.
Oh, and Lisa, she was talking with Lisa about how she's doing this department and this department. And she's like, well, you have to do more than one. She's like, I'll do everything if it gets me a better chance of getting in.
Yeah, that's it. She was auditioning in every department.
Every department, yeah. Ralph Garcia's real name is Raul Garcia, and he doesn't identify with it, so he goes by it's not. And
that's what Freddie Prinze did too. He changed his name, changed his identity. So that's
to be
kind of what he's emulating. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Leroy is here because he's young and he's single and he likes to mingle. And they all have to work twice as hard as regular students. Each department feels they are the most difficult. We have to work. You have to be better than the rest.
Yes.
You have to work harder than them all.
And so they have their specialty that they're learning in the morning, and then afternoon is when they have their normal high school
history,
subjects.
math, all that stuff. Doris has a culture shock in the cafeteria at lunch as Coco sings Hot Lunch with an ensemble and Bruno on piano. Yeah.
Everybody is just jamming and Doris does not fit in.
Shady Sadie. Shady Sadie. Lady. She's a southern lady. But everybody, and it's, if you've ever been around theater kids, this is so flipping accurate. Because I know this used to drive me nuts at play practices. But everybody just going at the same time, before we got started, and everybody's just doing their own thing. And it's just noise on noise on noise. Because there's kids playing. Kids are, there's kids playing music instruments. There's kids just singing other songs.
Dancing around. They're choreographing something.
It's driving me nuts.
It's true.
It was so accurate. I had trouble, kind of watching the scene at first because I'm like, this is too. Because before they get into the actual song, it's
chaos. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming.
Doris meets Montgomery as she escapes the chaos of the cafeteria, and
he was also escaping.
Yeah, Montgomery lives with his analyst and has trouble with women. Yeah, he doesn't live with either parent. All students are doing exercises in their disciplines, and Ralph falls asleep in the visualization exercise, which I did that once. I had a yoga class and we had to do meditation and relaxation, and I fell
Did anybody wake you up?
in college. I woke up on my own. Like, good. Yeah, but I was like, oh crap, like I definitely drifted off for some of it. Coco seeks out Bruno to collaborate. He's not interested and prefers to work alone. And Doris and Montgomery do exercise together as she's upset that nothing is wrong with her. Like, they're always just doing these weird dress-up things and just going out in the city and...
Yes, like trying out different parts.
She's, like, blind. Once they're, pretending they're, like, poor immigrants.
Yeah, just sitting on the side.
In the snow.
Yeah, like, they're getting these character roles. It's probably just encouraged in their drama class.
Probably.
Like, go out, make a part for yourself. Act like it. So they're doing these things. And Doris is like, I just don't want to be ordinary.
Yeah, and she's very well, like, she grew up in a, fairly middle-class household, with...
Yeah, there's nothing cool about her. Everybody else has a problem.
Yeah, or like they're they're coming up from underneath. Ralph reveals that Montgomery is not into women and teaches Doris to use her bad feelings in acting. I will use this in my acting. Like,
we'll grow from this.
Yeah, Leroy is unable to read and is flunking out. And destroys the hall when called out by Mrs. Sherwood, which is Ann Mira.
Yes.
She's the English teacher.
She's hard on Leroy.
Because she wants him to succeed. Yeah. Like, she doesn't want this
I don't even think she realized that he couldn't read.
She thinks she thought he was slacking.
He's just being difficult.
Okay.
Because he can be.
Yeah.
But he's being difficult because he can't do it.
Yeah. Bruno's dad drives taxis and upset that Bruno only is interested in music and not in girls. Bruno only plays for himself and fears others won't like it. Like, he doesn't play for his parents anymore either. Like, his dad's like, we brought you all this stuff and we don't even get, your mother doesn't even get to hear your music anymore. And Leroy lives on the street and tries to teach himself to read with newspaper garbage and ads and is frustrated. I know, me too. Like, he's trying to read like a Maytag ad.
Yeah, he's like sounding out.
Yeah.
Washing.
Yeah, washing machine. Yeah. Yeah. Bruno and Coco are out on the town, and Coco is killing time until she gets her big break. She feels she's destined for stardom.
And she has it.
She does.
She can do it all. She's very talented.
Yeah, she can dance, she can sing, she can, do whatever. Boys are spying on girls in the changing room. So you got your boob quota.
Yep, the 80s boob quota was met.
Yes. And the acting students are studying everyday movements. Ralph acts out a bowel movement. Bruno is not doing well on the violin. And Lisa is struggling in dance. Where's the sweat, Lisa?
Yeah, they are all over Lisa. Lisa, you're not trying.
How about Bruno with the violin too? You don't hold your bow like that. This isn't your. You're holding it. It's like, hold it with some respect.
Yes,
you mean like you're like. Yeah, and then Lisa's not struggling in dance class.
Yeah, she's not up to snuff.
She's chit-chatting. She's social. I'm like, girl, get it together.
You're getting in trouble. You should be a little wary of this. Michael
leaves for California, which is like this older student that Doris is like
He's a senior.
Yeah.
And they're freshmen, like the ones we're following. So
and he won this award for like this scholarship, and he's not taking it. He's going out to California.
He's going to be a movie star.
Yeah, Doris is smitten. He's not using the scholarship. He's going to work with William Morris Agency. Well, they're huge. Yeah, she is like
blue-eyed over this guy.
And he like didn't she's been obsessed with him like the whole year, but like he doesn't know her name. Like she asked to sign her yearbook, and he's like, "What's your name?" Sophomore year starts, and the boys are caught spying on the girls' locker room again.
You gotta hit that quota. Yeah, 20 minutes in the movie further.
The actors are assigned to recreate a difficult memory, and the new rich student Hillary arrives as Lisa is still not sweating in dance. And Bruno argues playing music alone is the future. And the teacher says that that's not music, that's masturbation. Because he says, like you could, if Mozart was alive today, he'd have all these instruments going himself. He wouldn't have anybody else.
And and the teacher's like, no, like this music is collaborative.
It's
like
meant to be with the group. Yeah. Hillary is into Leroy, who refuses to wear tights for dance. Oh, because at the beginning, too, like, everybody's, like, into Leroy. Like, like, when he's auditioning with Shirley, like, they're like, well, what do you call that? Wicked. You know?
Yeah, everybody thinks he's fine.
Yeah.
And Hillary she's a super good dancer. She's very
good. It comes very easily to her.
Yes.
Like, she practices a lot, but
and you can tell she knows she's
naturally.
Good.
Yeah, and she's very wealthy.
Hoity-toity.
She comes from a very rich family. Has, like, a lot of, like, doors held open for her.
Oh, yeah.
Doris struggles to find painful memory, and Montgomery has many. He said, you can choose one of mine if you want.
Share.
And including the absence of both his parents. His mother's a famous actress.
Yeah, she's never around. And everybody knows who his mom is.
Yeah,
like,
she's
they're
very
like,
famous.
oh my gosh, that's so cool.
And she just sends money home, like, for him to live on. And
he lives alone in an apartment, basically.
Yep. Hillary and Leroy hook up. She jumps on that, and Coco, like, for some reason, likes Leroy too.
Yeah, like, they seem to, like, have a relationship, but they don't. Like, she acts like they're dating.
Which is, and I don't... Is it because Hillary's white and, like, rich and everything like that? But, like, there's Coco going kind of after Bruno the whole time. Like,
but she's not going after Bruno as, like, a relationship.
I think she might if he showed some interest. I don't know.
I don't think so. I think she's just using him musically.
Okay.
In friendship.
Yeah.
Right? Like, not
Oh, yeah. But it's a weird dynamic.
Is. Like, it didn't seem like Coco and Leroy were locked in.
Because, like,
so, like, why are you so
Leroy and Coco are never together. Like,
just when they're dancing. They dance together a lot. And so I think she's feeling
maybe that's
threatened.
it. Yeah. Maybe she doesn't want to lose her dance partner. Maybe. That's going to make her look bad if Hillary's already so good.
Yeah.
And gets Leroy, too.
Yeah.
Montgomery will use the memory of falling in love with his analyst and realizing he's a homosexual.
Which was very new for an 80s movie. Like, this was groundbreaking to have this teenager who's out, and, like, it was unheard of. And it opened a lot of doors for people that they hadn't seen a character like this before.
Bruno's dad shows up blasting Bruno's music from the speakers on the taxi cab with Coco singing the song Fame. And everybody loves it. That's me.
This is me singing.
Yeah. She's, like, loving it. And Bruno comes out like, Dad, this isn't ready yet.
He's like, why did you get this? Why are you doing this?
He's like, Bruno, look, they love it.
They love it. And it's true. They all were going crazy for it.
Bruno's upset as it's not ready. Coco's excited. People love it. And students are all dancing in the street and on cars as Bruno's dad fights with the driver for holding up traffic.
In this part, they weren't actually, when they filmed it, they weren't dancing to the song because it hadn't been recorded yet. Yeah. I forget what they were playing.
I wrote it down.
Something?
I wrote it down. It's in my fun fact. Yeah.
We'll come back to that.
Montgomery reveals that his memory, reveals his memory and reports that he's never happy. Yeah, he's just blah. Like, he's not sad. He's just not happy.
He's just indifferent,
Ralph messes with Montgomery, and Doris's mom books her for singing at a birthday party for a child and says that is her most painful memory, like, because, like, her mom, like, she's missing a plan with Montgomery.
They were supposed to go see the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
And her mom's like, no, I promised.
Yeah.
Like, this is a
big deal. This is what you're going to do.
She realizes she must assert herself more, Doris. And Ralph's memory was going home and found out from his 2 chicks that he lives with. He lives with these 2 chicks. That's what he's telling people the whole time. That they were in church and Freddie Prinze had died by unaliving himself. So that was his most painful memory. Leroy shows up in roller skates, and Mrs. Sherwood asks what he's wearing. A hat!
He's got a shirt that says Leroy on it, too. Like a crop top Leroy shirt.
She lets him know that he's in danger of flunking out still from English, and that it's not good. He needs to bring up his grade. Lisa's in danger of flunking out of dance for not taking dance seriously. She lacks the talent and dedication and is dismissed by a teacher who is upset that she had to tell her this news. Like, she had to dismiss her. And you can tell, like, the teacher is, like, trying to be, like, as, matter of fact about it as possible. She's like, oh, like, as soon as she left, she's like, oh, crap, In
the original script, at this point, then Lisa unalives herself.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, and they decided to take it out. They were like, it's getting a little long as it is, and it's also, like, that's pretty heavy.
Yeah. Lisa and a group of students go to catch the subway as Lisa slowly approaches the tracks as the train arrives. And you, like, get this feeling like she's going to jump. But really, she throws her dance clothes on the tracks and says, screw it, I'll switch to drama. And she's like, well, you're going to be pretty freaking good at it. You know, like, that's pretty, you know, she's like, so...
Right.
Yeah, because, like, it's very ominous.
Yeah.
Like,
it's kind of odd that they would just let her switch departments. Like, I'll just go to a lesser one.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's what they were all doing, though, at the beginning.
Yeah, just
like, hey, if I can't
around,
get in for this, I'm going to go try out and dance.
True.
I'm gonna, you know.
Do we see Lisa the rest of the movie, really?
Yeah, a little bit, but it's not like it was.
Okay.
Coco and Hillary fight over Leroy again.
Mm-hmm.
Ralph arrives home to his 2 chicks, which are revealed to be his 2 little sisters. Yeah, he lives with his 2 chicks, but it's
they
his
love him.
They're upset. Ralph, yeah. Leroy is now heckled in his neighborhood. He used to kind of be like hot stuff in his neighborhood, and now, like, because he's like serious about school and everything, he's not anymore. Mm-hmm. Bruno blows the power at the school with the synthesizer. And Montgomery directs Doris and Ralph in a scene at his place, and while out, his Ralph's younger sister leaves the apartment thinking he has come home.
Mm-hmm. She hears somebody else downstairs.
She thinks Ralph's coming up the stairs like he normally does, and he'll like call out to them. And Ralph and Doris kiss while acting out this scene. We cut back to Montgomery's place, and Hillary brings Leroy over for homework. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And Montgomery is doing this thing. He's like, wait, you're not supposed to kiss here. Yeah. Like, what? And they're just going to town. He's like, oh.
Yeah.
He just excuses himself from his own apartment.
Yeah. Which isn't furnished. No. His mother sends home all this money, and he just does, like, he just lives in an unfurnished apartment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got like a bed.
Yeah.
A folding chair.
Mm-hmm. Coco sings Out Here on My Own with Bruno watching, and he moves closer to her, and Father witnesses his interest in her. Mm-hmm. Dad gives Coco a ride home in the cab, and she has them drop her at his fancy building, and it's revealed it isn't hers. Like, she makes it look like it's hers.
She's like, oh yeah, this is my sister's place. And then
he's like, nice place. You know, he's like, we'll wait till you get in. And she's like, oh no.
No, go ahead. And then she goes to the subway and goes to her real home.
Ralph finds that his sister's in church as the younger one, age 5, was assaulted by a junkie, and Ralph feels responsible. That's what happened when she went out of the apartment and
heard somebody downstairs. Yeah. It was a junkie.
Yeah. Ralph's real father is doing time in prison, and he has a 3rd sister who's in an institution that when the father tried to hit Ralph once as a child, he got her instead, and she's now developmentally delayed. Doris comforts Ralph, and Montgomery leaves them alone. And this is like Ralph's mom just like has like an extra room she rents out to tenants, and like it's never good. Like, it's never good guys that she's renting out to.
It's never a safe place. Yeah, it's not a good place for him or his little sisters to be.
Yeah. So he's always kind of acted like their protector. Doris wants to change her name to Dominique, and her mother calls her out for making poor choices.
She does not look like a Dominique.
No, she's like, Dominique would be smart, but my Doris, she's dumb enough to go.
Definitely looks like a Doris. She does not fit the Dominique role.
Now, Doris and Ralph go to see the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and they get stoned and cut out Montgomery completely. Like,
he got left behind.
Yeah, and it sucks because like Doris was kind of like his only friend for a while, and now she's kind of interested in Ralph. They were so close.
Yeah, now Ralph was kind of infiltrated. Yeah, and she hated Ralph in the beginning.
Yeah,
freshman year, hated him, and Montgomery didn't like him either.
Yeah, they didn't like him because Ralph's picking on everybody. Yeah, he's a prickly little cactus, and so they cut out Montgomery, who sings alone to himself at home.
Yeah, his boring song.
Yeah, that was a bad song. Like, it wasn't bad, it was just long and just him, and there's nothing else, and it's just the light outside is just blinking. And
it's not a very exciting scene.
No. Doris is caught up in the music and did the Time Warp song on stage.
Goes up on stage at the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah. The next day, Doris and Montgomery and Ralph are at a cafe, and Michael winds up as their waiter, the guy that she was obsessed with at the beginning, as Doris embraces her lack of personality. And they find out, like, he was like, well, I did a pilot. Oh, I didn't see it. He's like, yeah, no one did, you know. And he's like, but I got, he's a failed actor. He's back waiting tables, waiting for an audition. And that's what they said, you know, like, ideally you're going to be working, but like most actors in New York are waiting tables or driving cabs or doing something, and, you know, like not,
Like the title of the film Fame is ironic because the majority of these kids will never have fame.
Right, exactly. I said next is senior year, so we skipped.
No, there was a junior. You said that it did say junior year. At one point.
Did it say?
It said
junior?
it. I saw it.
I didn't see it.
I remember because you said to me they skip over junior year, and I was like, there it is. It was short.
Okay.
It slipped in there at some point. I don't remember which point.
I missed it. Yeah. I was like, there's no junior year. We went right to senior year.
There was a junior year.
It wasn't much to speak of.
It's like these parts you just talked about.
Right. Well, I know. Thank you. I realized that.
Well, you didn't seem to even realize
because I didn't see the junior year pop up on the screen.
It was there.
It was short. Okay, so...
Senior year.
Yeah, I'm trying to find my page. Thank you. I'm aware. I have to find it on the page. So next is senior year, as Ralph does an amateur stand-up at this comedy club. Mm-hmm. He does great. He nails it. Is very excited and is wanted back. Hillary is offered a spot in the San Francisco Ballet, but it's revealed she is waiting for an abortion because she can't have a baby if she's going to go do this. Mm-hmm. And I guess she's been messing around with Leroy too much.
Yes.
Coco is scouted in a coffee shop for a screen test.
Mm-hmm. This guy's like, "Oh my gosh, you must be an actress.
You were in this. I've seen you in this. You were in the chorus in this, right?"
Like, she's like, "No, not yet."
No, she was like, "Yeah, I was."
Oh, did she?
She did. She said, "Yeah, that was me." Because she's trying to make herself seem like very worldly and Leroy is not like an amateur. Leroy is looking for Mrs. Sherwood, who is on leave to be with her sick husband, and finds her crying in the hospital and confronts her as he's up to join a dance company, but he has to graduate first. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Hey, how's your old man doing?"
After yelling at her, in the hallway of the hospital, and her husband is not well.
Coco arrives to a screen test in a dingy apartment and is asked by the director to take off her top as she is filming alone. He's got no crew. He's the only person there.
Yeah, he's a scam.
Yeah, and she obliges tearfully. Ralph goes on for a series of shows, but is using too many substances and trying to be an image and not himself. He blows the show. Doris leaves. And Ralph is too messed up.
Yeah, he's going on a bender here. Mm-hmm.
Montgomery comforts Ralph, and lets him know, it's okay to struggle and, to try to, get it worked out. Seniors are measured for caps and gowns. All perform in the final performance showcase, singing, dancing, and playing in the Body Electric song. Doris is in the chorus. Leroy is the lead dancer. Montgomery, Lisa, and Coco sing solos. Doris's mother is still taking pictures. And Bruno plays piano with the rock band. And that's the end.
Yeah. So apparently Leroy didn't need to know how to read that well.
And
he passed.
Ralph, I guess, dropped out, you said?
Yeah,
you think?
I think... Because we don't see Ralph again. I think he succumbed to his lifestyle of...
that sucks.
Yes.
So, I have some fun facts.
So fun. It is a very abrupt ending because you're like, well, what happened then?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, okay, I guess, hopefully they'll work out, but it probably won't. Yeah. And just much like Michael, I think Michael is the shining example of this in this movie. He was the golden boy at this school.
Mm-hmm. And amounted to nothing.
Yeah. So that's why I have my cake shirt on. Because I'm like, most of these kids are going to be in shows off-Broadway, patty caking, and doing all kinds of weird stuff. Yeah. If that.
Mm-hmm.
So the famed dance scene in the street used Diana Summer's Hot Stuff when filming.
Because it was the same beat.
It had similar beats to it. So they said, okay, so we'll do this, and then we'll superimpose the other song later. Fame won an Oscar for Best Song in 1981. Amelia Estevez auditioned for Montgomery.
Oh.
I know. Can you imagine that?
Ooh.
And that was prior to the Brat Pack movies, too. So that would have been a very young Amelia.
I know. I can't
as Montgomery. I did not care for Montgomery's hair.
I could see him as Ralph more than I could see him as
maybe
Montgomery. Yeah, Montgomery's hair was rough.
Is there a part of this movie where for kids who want to coach, like in Mighty Ducks? Bob Fosse was on set when shooting the street dance scene.
Ooh.
Yeah, he was just happened to be in the area. I know, dancing in front of
watching
Bob
you
Fosse.
As you're doing this. All of them were like, "This is my baby."
Yep, exactly.
They went.
Fame created the leg warmer fashion trend, not Flashdance in 1983 as many believe. Like, this is what shot it off, and Flashdance gets all the credit for
same
it.
actress, but
well, no, same song. Irene Cara's not in it,
but she did the song,
right?
That's what I meant. Sorry.
Okay. And Debbie Allen, who I didn't realize was that dance instructor at the beginning.
Yes, yeah.
In the Leroy scene, I didn't know, like, when he's auditioning, that's Debbie Allen, and she initially had a much bigger role, but it was cut down to so she wouldn't outshine Irene Cara.
Oh.
Because Irene Cara ended up having a much bigger role. She was originally not supposed to be a teacher, but a student.
Yeah, but they thought she was too old to kind of carry that.
Yeah, so then Irene
Seems like
Cara,
any other 80s movie, they don't care. They're like, throw a 50-year-old in there, it's fine. And
I guess most of these kids seemed pretty high school.
Yeah, they did. I think they definitely did.
But I mean, I really like the music in this movie.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I think it was nominated for 2 Oscars for the music.
I think it was,
and
too. It won one. Yeah. But I think Fame's the one that won, like the title song.
Yes.
The one that won.
And I think, like, they thought they were going to get a lot more nominations than they got. Like, I think they were disappointed.
Maybe it was a heavy year for
movies.
I'm not sure what else was out that year. Yeah.
It is, like, this is a very, like you said in the beginning, like, gritty movie. Like,
it needs that, I feel like. Like, you can't saccharine up Fame.
Right.
And make it work. Like,
right.
Because the reality is, most of these kids are not going to do it much.
Even like some sort of like filming technique, like they put like a nylon stocking over the camera, like somehow to like give it that even like a gritty looking texture because it, And I know like the real high school didn't give them permission to film there.
Yeah, it was some abandoned.
So they found this abandoned building and then made it look like the interior of that, like made like the pipes look like old and stuff, like doctored it up to make it look like the school, but a weathered school.
Yeah. And it was just like, and that's what they said was the irony of the title is, like Shelley said, the Fame, because most of these kids will never achieve that. They're all trying to get that, but I mean, we all know it's like, a flash in a pan. Like you don't get. It's so hard to break into those industries.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And everybody thinks they're the best.
And probably the only one who had a chance was Montgomery because his mom was in, like...
Nepo baby.
Yeah, Nepo baby here. He's going to be the one to make it.
Although he didn't have Irene Cara's presence, that's for sure. Coco's presence.
But, like, Coco, like, they never address that whole thing at the end where she got bamboozled.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what came of that? Like, she was just fine in the senior production. It was like,
that's what was weird, and Doris, like, she was with Ralph. Like, what happened to Ralph?
Right. They I guess they broke up at that point, like, because she stormed out of his show, and that's probably the end of them. But it's like, there's a lot up in the air.
There's a lot of questions. I feel like we wasted a lot of time on other things, and like we just ended this story with no ending.
Yeah, it was like a good movie, but also could have been better.
And it's kind of a downer. It's kind of like you don't walk out feeling great.
No, you feel like a little dirty.
I'm like a little like, oh.
Yeah. It's like a sad sort of ending, even though it's like this great song at the end and a great performance.
An ending.
But, yeah.
I mean, not all endings are good endings.
No,
but
that's true.
And not all endings are happy
endings. That's what they were going for.
And they nailed it. They nailed it. They got out there and they achieved.
And then I didn't realize that there was like a spin-off TV series the next year. I never even heard about it.
Because it was garbage.
Well, yeah, that's what they said. But like Leroy was in that, and like they had some of the other characters in it too. Who knew? Who knew?
But we thank you for joining us.
Yeah, have you seen Fame?
Is like the original Fame.
Yes.
And the thing is, like, I think when the other one came out, I want to say this was right around like 2009 or 2010-ish that the other one came out. And I feel like they were trying to like fill roles and make it more diverse, but the original Fame is really diverse.
It is, yeah.
And that's what I really like, these movies that are like older that were not trying to do that and just
did it naturally. Because
that's how it is. Naturally.
Yeah, in New York City, it's a melting pot.
It's a melting pot, yes. And that's what I really like about the original Fame is like you can tell these are all kids who this could have been them.
Yeah.
And we weren't trying to just fill
what
we thought would be it.
And a lot of like the background actors are the actual students that were in the school at the time because like they needed extras and stuff, and who better than these kids?
Yeah.
It would have been. I remember thinking, like, it'd be so cool to, like, go to the school. But then looking back, like, rewatching, I was like, ooh, this seems
miserable.
So difficult.
It seems miserable. Like, I would hate that. Like, it was hard enough doing practice after school.
Yes.
Like, to have to do it all day and then do it when you're out of school. Like, it's a lot.
And you know that feeling, too, like, when you're surrounded by big personalities all the time.
And you have to be bigger to
yes,
stand out.
And so it's just everybody competing constantly. Yeah. Like, I don't have the blood for it.
I have the wherewithal. But that is fame.
That's fame.
That's fame. I remember really wanting to do this show in high school too, and we always did like the old
wholesome things,
like Oklahoma and Sound of Music, and all those like old Guys and Dolls. That was about as gritty as we got. I was like, yeah. I wanted to do like, and I knew they did it at one point because you could see the old posters up that shows that they did before, and it was up there, and I'm like, why don't we ever get to do like songs that have like some flavor to them, like that are just like da, 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 da.
Sondheim thing.
Yeah. I would have taken some song like some Cinderella Sondheim or something like that, but but that's sorry, I digress. We're off on a tangent.
Musical theater for you.
Neither here nor there. But and kids today, that's I think where my beef comes from, because we're in a very like an area where high school theater is a big deal, and they're doing much more exciting shows now than they used to, and that's why I'm like, we never got to do these kinds of shows.
No, we did not. It was the same stuff, and every high school was doing the same things.
I remember we did Oklahoma, and we had to edit that for the school board because there were too many dams, like or hells or something.
We did Little Shop of Horrors, and we weren't allowed to say jerk.
Yeah, we had to.
You're a jerk.
Yep, we had to change some language, and it was too spicy for the. I'm like, ugh. When Oklahoma's too spicy, you got some problems. But we thank you for joining us. Are you familiar with this movie? It's kind of fallen by the wayside.
It has, I feel like it's a forgotten gem.
Yeah, it is, and it's really great. Like the music's amazing, and it like the soundtrack's awesome. And there's a lot of talented people. Like, the dancing is on point. Yeah. Like, everybody's really good. Yeah, literally. But we thank you for joining us. If you look below in the description for this video, you will see links to our social media accounts. We are at Sisters and Ebert on Instagram and Facebook. Please like, follow, subscribe, comment, all the things. And you found us here on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, and follow. Yeah. Hit that little bell down
Join
there.
The fun.
That'll let you know when we post new content. We appreciate all that support. We're trying to grow this little channel.
Here we are, the little engine that could.
Struggling. We're on the struggle bus, but we're just going to keep going because that's what we do.
This is fame.
But we thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week at the movies.